in the idea of trying to be more like Jesus and trying to do more like Jesus, let me give you 4 L's. 4 verbs that start with L, my friends, for us to be like Jesus in the midst of these kinds of things. First off is, this is hard, listening to the wounded. That's what Jesus did at the beginning of John chapter 8 with the adulterous woman that's brought to him. He listens. We're way too fast to jump to accusation, jump on the bandwagon, try to get out of there as fast as possible, rather than actually listening to what the wounded person is saying. And Jesus was a great listener to the wounded. And we struggle with that. It's okay for you to be wounded, and it's okay for you to tell me about it. I'm here for you. That's what we should be doing to each other. And I love it when you're there for each other. That's a beautiful thing. The second L word is loving. The whole Bible, the whole Christian experience can be boiled down to loving God and loving your neighbors. And you'd think that would be really easy, but it's really, 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 really hard. And so the second idea about being and doing like Jesus is loving our neighbors. This isn't the Beatles love. This isn't the hippie love. The culture completely gets this wrong. Biblical love is about being selfless. We don't like that word. Being sacrificial. We don't like that word. But that's what loving is. Denying ourselves for somebody else. Sacrificing for yourself for somebody else. And loving the people around us fulfills everything Jesus is and everything Jesus was doing, is if we would love our neighbors. We would be selfless and sacrificial toward the people around us. We would be light. Well, we would be light in the midst of darkness. We would be the flower in the field of nothing but weeds. And people would notice. People would notice if we were genuinely selfless and sacrificial toward the people around us. Not just the people that agree with us, not just the people we like, but our neighbors. Everybody. Everybody. Third one. Third L for being and doing. From verse 48. Lasting forgiveness of others. My friends, you know, we like to be forgiven. We like grace and mercy when we receive it. When it comes to others, we want others to get justice, right? We want others to get justice. We don't want pulled over for speeding, but we want the other guy to be pulled over for speeding. That's who we are, because we're so incredibly self-centered in our sinfulness. And so it's very important. If you want to be like Jesus, if you want to do Jesus, be forgiving. Forgive them. Delete their account. Let it go. My friends, you can remember the lesson learned while still forgiving them. By holding on to that grudge, all you're doing is re-drinking the same poison and making yourself sick. And if you're losing an argument and you have to dig up a dead horse from 10 years ago, then you're being like the Jews, right? You're not insulting, but I don't know why, but we tend to do that. We go as far back as we can. Instead of just forgive and let go. Forgive them. Because you and I have been forgiven of so much. How dare I hold something against you when I've done that so much better? You know? Let's forgive. Let's forgive. It'll do us a world of good. It'll do the relationships a world of good, and we will be walking in the footsteps of Jesus. He forgave the people that were executing him. I think you can forgive the coworker who is mean to you. And then fourth, Jesus was a consistent and constant example and teacher of holiness. He lived holiness. He taught holiness. He lived godliness. He taught godliness. And we are on a pathway of growing in godliness, so that we should be getting more and more godly as time goes by. Let's be like Jesus, living godliness. As an example, because people are watching us, and as a teacher. So when people ask your opinion, when you have a chance to be heard, speak divine truth.